All right, we're starting to record. All right, guys, this is my audience. This is Robert, and this is James. That is the camera lady. She is Amelia. All right, there you go. All right, guys, I want y'all to imagine a place where simple pleasures can bring you endless amounts of joy. I'm talking about a place where you can feel like you're part of a family and not a community. And what I'm talking about is rural living. I have lived in every major city and every small town in America, and I can tell you right now that there are just simple joys and pleasures and freedoms that you can obtain from living in the country that you just cannot grab a hold of in city. And it's a hard life out there, I'll admit that, okay? But for those who work hard, have a lot to gain from it. And the first I'd like to talk about is access to good quality food. And what I mean is, most of our food in America, about 80% of it comes from CAFO facilities. And what those are, they're called concentrated animal feeding operations. And that's where they take as many cows or pigs or chickens and they shove them into the smallest environment possible. And since it's so unsanitary, they have to feed them these cocktails that have hormones, steroids, and antibiotics in them to keep them healthy and to keep meat production, milk production, and egg production going. The only problem with that is then we eat those products that are inside these meats and these poultry products. And then everybody wants to wonder why our 9-year-old daughters have breasts, our 10-year-olds look like they could beat the crap out of us adults, and the fact that viruses are now immune to antibiotics. It's because we're eating them from day one. The other thing we have access to in the country area is vegetables that haven't been GMO'd. And what a GMO is a genetically modified organism. So like if a farmer wants to grow corn in the wintertime, he'll inject it and inoculate that corn strand with anti-freezing agents. And then, yeah, he could grow corn through the winter, but then we chop that corn up and we feed it to those chickens, those cows. So now they're a GMO product again. And so yeah, you got good access to food and vegetables. But if that's not enough for y'all, then let's go to the environment side of it. And the first thing I like to talk about is the crop swapping, the way the community comes together. So if you don't have money for vegetables or food or products during the harvest time, well, hey, you got your garden back down in the back that you've been growing, take that to the crop swap. And they do barter with foods and vegetables. So hey, you want some oranges and all you got is apples over here? All right, make a trade, no money involved. And that's one of the good things the community offers. And the other thing is the educational part. According to the National Center of Educational Statistics, they say that kids that grow up in rural areas graduate at a rate higher, 13% higher than people that go to schools in the city, which to me is great. On 1,000 kids, that's 130 more kids that are graduating on time. The other thing I think is a great community effort is the weekly festivals. Every week they're celebrating something. It don't matter. Did it rain this week? Let's celebrate it. Did our local team win? Let's celebrate that. There's always something going on the weekends where they're just celebrating, brings everybody together. There's food, music, drink, and it's just a really good time. It gives you a sense that you belong to that community. Now, there are disadvantages to living in the rural areas, and I'd like to talk about those now. The first ones are lack of employment. There's not a whole lot of employment opportunities out there unless you're a farmer or a do-it-yourselfer. So that, having a money income source is a little bit hard to come by out there. The other thing is that there's a lot more accidental injuries out there, and that is because there are more do-it-yourselfers out there, and there's more farmers, there's more accidents that happen out there. If we live in the country, we're not calling A-plus roofers to do a roofing job. We're calling up all our neighbors and say, hey, come on over, I'll cook, let's do my roof today. And, and so you got more accidents that take place out there. The major concern for most people about rural living is the lack of medical facilities. You are in a desolate area, so you don't have major hospitals like we do in the city. There are clinics, but they don't have all the tools necessary to perform major operations. So that is a major downside, but now that I've addressed all the advantages and disadvantages of living in the city compared to rural, I'd like to recap it all. The gains that you can get, good quality food that isn't altered by scientists. Then you've got the environment, the community, the sense of belonging to a family, and then there's the educational side. Of course, there is the disadvantages that I just discussed, the lack of employment, the lack of medical facilities, and then there's the higher accidental death rate. But when you really take all that into consideration, the accidental death rate can be curbed by just being careful, using some good wits about your work and stuff. The lack of employment, if you're participating within the community, money shouldn't be an issue because you've got neighbors that will help you out. As long as you're giving more than you're taking, money's never an issue out there. I mean, come on, how many of those farms are subsidized by government loans? I mean, so with all that said, I think living in the country is much better than the city. I want to thank y'all for coming out, and y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. And I will take this And here is everybody again, signing off.